Hello, hola, it's Maureen. I wanted to talk about being a stay-at-home mom and how so I don't even know where to start. So when you're um when you have a plan for your life, right? And God comes and messes with your plan, it can be quite frustrating. So I am not a stay-at-home mom because I'm one of these women that always thought that I would leave my job to look after my kids. That was never me. I always thought that I would be one of these super amazing multitasking women that worked and had babies and excelled in both and was amazing. Okay. And then I graduated nearly 3 years ago. Oh my goodness, from my master's. So first of all, I had worked. If you follow me a lot, you will know a lot of this. But I had worked as a clinical physiologist for nearly 4 years with my bachelor's degree. And then I felt the call to ministry and I left everything. I'm one of these dramatic people that's just like, don't even have to think twice. Like, if I'm convinced that God is telling me something or if I want something, I get it. Just ask him. Anyway, so I left everything, went to Michigan to study for my master's of divinity. I did that, and I believed I would get a job straight away as a pastor, chaplain, something, anything, right? So I get a job in America, but then I hear God saying that you need to go back to Ireland. And I'm like, okay. Again, when I'm convinced that God is telling me something, I just do it. Most of the time without questioning. So we leave America and we're back and to Ireland, and I was convinced that even though they had rejected me, my church had rejected my application before that, I was convinced once I'm in Ireland, because they don't have to think about moving me or the cost of all of that, and I'll be in Ireland and ready to work for God and passionate and whatever. Anyway, you all know this. I've probably mentioned this in every video. Did not happen, right? For many reasons. And I was bitter for quite a long time. Like, I don't know how long it took me, but I was bitter and sad and disappointed. It was like a mix of a lot of emotions. And so I was pregnant with my second baby when I came, and it just made sense to be home. So I didn't even really consider like going back to my old profession. I just thought, let me just be at home, look after my kids, instead of having to pay for daycare and whatever. Let me tell you, I would not change it for anything in the world, right? So, and I feel like for the first 6 months, I did it. I love my kids, right? So I loved my kids, but there was still this feeling of, oh my goodness, is this my life? Like, is this all I was created for? And then I soon started to realize that I can still live out my purpose while being a parent. First of all, being a parent is a big deal, right? Massive big deal. And we need to take it seriously. Like, I think if more people took parenting seriously, the world would be a much better place. So being a parent is a big deal, but it does not mean that you cannot do some of the things that you love while you're being a parent. So I started to kind of juggle both ministry and parenting. And I was just like, oh. And then all this time in the background, God is doing like amazing work in my recovery and my healing from trauma that I've had carried since I was a child. A lot of shame, a lot of rejection, a lot of abandonment issues. And God is working through all of that for me, still is. And but I started to see that this is actually a good thing. I get to be home and I get to do ministry. And I must say there were aspects of it that were embarrassing, right? So I come from a line of really strong black women, you know, that is strong black women are hybrids of their true selves. You know, they're not really living their true selves. So I came from a long line of that, and these women worked, right? My grandmother, who recently passed away, was an excellent farmer. She raised 9 children. Like, she did so much. She did a lot of politics and church, and you know, she did a lot of stuff. So I come from a line of such women who don't necessarily, they'll have the children, but they'll also have the work and the career and whatever. So it was embarrassing, especially because, you know, there were some family members who were just like, when are you gonna get a job? You know, if you had a job, you could be doing this, you could be doing that. So it was a tough one to kind of fully accept. But I have to say, I'm at a point where I have fully accepted it, where I fully love it. And I believe it's because I've had a lot of healing, and I've had a lot of kind of evaluating myself deep inside to see what I love, like who am I first of all, and what do I love to do. And listen, guys, like, being a good mom has always been on top of my list, even though I never verbalized it. So it was there, but I just never knew how I could do it. And for me, being at home, I can try and do that, right? I will fail, obviously, because I'm a human being in some aspects, but I want to be there for my kids, and I want them to look back in the future and be like, my mommy was there, you know? And but not just there physically, but present, like super present. And also so that was something that I in my subconscious or whatever, it was there, but I didn't think it would be possible, because, you know, I didn't see a lot of examples of women staying at home with their kids. Yeah, so like, just amazing. I guess I'm doing this video to say, no, I am not embarrassed to be a stay-at-home mom, even though at first I did not choose it. I did not want it. But I've also realized that I can be a stay-at-home mom and still do my thing. You know, I can still influence the world, especially with the media, with social media, and how the world is kind of interconnected through the media. I can do that. I can do videos about things that I love. I can still preach the word to people all over the world. I can still sing and make music and share my music with you guys. I can, you know, I can still do things, but it also means that I can be home with my child. Do I have less money? Yes, I do. But do I look worried? No, I don't. Because, you know, God has just been so faithful, and like, in that Tim's job is really steady and he has a good income, so we're able to live off one income. And we've even still agreed on a house that we're moving to June, July. It's taking too long, but we're doing it. You know, we don't go hungry. Like, we're fully clothed. And I think that sometimes in life we want more than we need. And at the moment we have all that we need, and we have each other. And let me tell you, like, it's been so good for me, my mental health, my kids, me and my husband, like us as a family unit, and like you want to see like on the weekends when Tim is off, oh, the boys really like, they're just like, oh mommy, today we can have fun with daddy. And you know, like they just get so excited, like Elijah gets so excited, and he's like, we do so many adventures during the week, and daddy, we can get to share some of those adventures with you today. And oh, and then I get to tell my kids stories at night. Like, you know, like I feel like, especially if I worked maybe like in a hospital, especially during the pandemic, you know, if I was, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't have been home on time, or, you know, like and Elijah says, oh, bless him. He says, Mommy, tell us a story from your mind about Jesus. Like, what? Oh, so cute. So, and I know that's all gonna change in the future, right? You know, the more independent they become and whatever, I'll be able to kind of branch out and go and, you know, do what I want to do. But I just wanted to just affirm stay-at-home moms who have chosen, so who were not forced into it like I was, who have chosen it and are doing it well and are giving it their best shot. And this is not to say that I'm looking down on moms that work. No, because I always wanted to be the mom that worked and had kids. So I have so much respect for you guys as well. But I wanted to affirm the stay-at-home moms whose lives do not look like their lives don't look like their calling, right? So they have dreams and visions and stuff that they want to do in life and how they want to impact the world, but at the moment they just have to change nappies and clean noses and feed little people. And so I wanted to affirm those people and just be like, listen, you are superheroes and you are amazing, and I'm so glad to be one of you guys. And let's change the world together, one child at a time. And like I always wanted to raise feminist kids, and I get to do that. I get to influence my sons. My daughter-in-laws better be nice to me. After all the work I've done. But yeah, that's all I wanted to share, and ciao.